In the chapter 1 of the Lotus Sutra, there is a large number of Buddhas or Bodhisattvas being mentioned or introduced. I almost can't think the world depicted is about the planet Earth, but about much more broad and multidimensional views that come into play. For instance, the Buddha radiates a beam of light from between his eyebrows, which illuminates 18,000 worlds in the east, from as low as purgatory to as high places Akanishta, the highest heaven. What's impressive in that is Buddha illuminates the ray of light that is showing all living beings in 6 states. The 6 states means the world of heavens, and humans, asuras, and animals, and the world of hungry ghosts, or the world of hells. In my younger days, I used to think why this unrealistic or unreal things are openly said in this book. The Buddha, who was born somewhere near India or Nepal, shouldn't be able to do that. To that claim, I would reply this way. This Buddha isn't that Buddha guy who was living in that Asian region. He couldn't have emitted a beam of light to extend to Japan, Britain, France, Brazil, or North Pole area. Not even to Mars or Neptune or Pluto. This beam of light story takes place somewhere in different dimension. Like I had seen a vision of mountain or valley or cliff, jumping up or dancing so big, or collapsing into my body, or hits in my ear or head. Let us think that's where the Lotus Sutra things are taking place. This mountain, cliff things, dancing, collapsing, hitting me so big, but there's no hurting, is one of the views I had seen from time to time when I was 4 or 5 years old. Interestingly, even at the age 50, these views still stick in my head clearly. To 20-some-year-old myself, I would like to mention these views. We had forgotten or looked away from those experiences because I thought there should be more things to think about. The information we recognize on the surface of consciousness is limited. It might be necessary to call for as many visions or imaginations as possible to keep growing ourselves. For eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body sensation, or everyday consciousness should be a small piece of pie. They are even all tied up with 3 dimensions or cultural or contemporary beliefs or disbelief. Even words are limited conveyor to the core, which are often misinterpreted or misused. Back to the Lotus Sutra, the speaker starts talking about this sun and moon Tathagata who were present immeasurable, boundless, inconceivable number of kalpas ago. I don't know how long period that is. Interestingly, this sun and moon Tathagata was shared, his name was shared by 20,000 other Buddhas. And now, who were those people, sun and moon Tathagatas, or who were those beings? To me, this story sounds more of extraterrestrial things than earthly human events. Humans shouldn't have existed immeasurable, boundless, inconceivable number of kalpas ago. It even sounds before the earth started to take shape. Impressive to me is the description of ceaseless efforts in learning, teaching, growing higher, or truth-seeking, or overcoming of difficulty. This makes me feel that extraterrestrial beings, if there was, or planets, nebula, black matters, unseen being, or visible objects in 3D, 4D, 5D, 9D, had put in efforts ceaselessly, like we humans do, or more than we humans do. Limiting the range to our solar system, each planet may have a consciousness of its own and has the ability to talk to one another, though we don't understand those Buddhas or Bodhisattvas' worlds of the very long past, as well as of now today. And now the Lotus Sutra, the first chapter goes, for 60 small kalpas, the Buddha remained seated in his seat without rising, and the listeners there also remained seated for 60 small kalpas with their bodies and minds never moving. And now, what kind of situation is this? If this was what happened among human beings, why these long years that we can't even count or fathom? It should be more moderately or realistically set up. And now what I think is there must be something we cannot imagine taking place there or here. The sun and moonlight Tathagata taught the sutra for 60 small eons to Brahma, devils, mendicants, Brahmins, humans, heavenly beings, and asuras. This is an apparently multi-dimensional view. And now there is wonderful light Bodhisattva. He takes over the role of teaching after sun and moonlight Tathagata entered nirvana, in other words, went into extinction. Manjushri Bodhisattva then says, this wonderful light Bodhisattva was himself in the past life. The Manjushri is the speaker of this chapter, the main character, so to speak. And one of the disciples, his disciples, fame seeker Bodhisattva, was Maitreya Bodhisattva's past life. Maitreya, in Japanese, he's called Miroku Bosatsu. But Manjushri and Maitreya Bodhisattva are symbolization of embodiment of transcendent wisdom or loving kindness. So are these just fantasy? That's what I start to think. But if so, can't we say our lives are also fantasy? We are created out of emptiness. We consist of emptiness. Or some people say interdependency, but I don't know what this emptiness is about. But let me call it emptiness. The great emptiness is what we consist of. And now Manjushri says, I remember that in the past age, unquantifiable, innumerable eons ago, sun and moonlight Bodhisattva was present. He preached the Dharma, saving innumerable living beings and countless number of millions of Bodhisattvas, helping them enter the wisdom of Buddha. And now, Avalokiteshvara, by the way, in Japanese it's called Kanzeon Bosatsu or Kannon-sama, is also a symbolized character of great mercy or remover of fear. Some Buddhist priests or learners say Avalokiteshvara is the universe, multidimensional, limitless, boundless, unfathomable existence that saves us from internal or external dangers or evil. I think the sutra works as a medium between myself and my family members or other close people, whether it be dead or alive here on earthly openings. I have some mysterious episodes over this sutra on Avalokiteshvara. This sutra, by the way, is listed as 25th chapter of the Lotus Sutra. Even when I was in my late 20s or early 30s, the Lotus Sutra gave me an impression of outer space or extraterrestrial. I don't know why I feel that way. I remember thinking that the sutra let me think there are innumerable patterns of worlds, not only parallel worlds, but also asymmetrical worlds, as many versions or patterns as the sands of the kanjis. And that's what I envision when I read this chapter of the Lotus Sutra.